So cluster, this is the new topic, clustering. So cluster is nothing but a logically group of queue managers అనమాట. సో మనం ఎలా అయితే లాజికల్ నార్మల్గా క్యూ మేనేజర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తామో అట్లానే క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. బట్ ఫర్ ద cluster there is some changes so how to define the cluster and all will be there. So if you come to the theoretically బేసిక్‌గా క్లస్టర్ అంటే ఎట్లా అంటే హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ మీన్స్ లెట్ మీ షో యూ సమ్‌వేర్ ఇన్ ద డయాగ్రామ్ ఆల్సో. It was on just for your reference diagram. Let's see, cluster and the group of queue managers only. Group of queue managers that will connect logically. Group of queue managers, more than one queue manager. Minimum minimum 3, 4 ఉంటాయి. Maybe it can be more like 3, 4, 5, 6 also. There could be there is no limit. Minimum 2 is required, and 3 is like at least mandatory. If 3 cumulars are, you would have go through the cluster. So cluster in the sense it is a group of queue managers. It will logically connect. So that is the one thing of the cluster. What is the meaning of the cluster? It is a group of queue managers. Those will connect logically. And one more advantage for the cluster is if you see like one way, two way, right? There we have created transmission queue, sender channel, receiver channel, remote queue. These are like many queues we have created when we are doing one way and two way intercommunication, right? నిన్న మనం చేసింది ఏదైతే ఉందో అందులో if you refer the diagram or if you see all the objects, if you see all the objects here, right? So we have created, let's say, transmission queue, remote queue, and if you come to the channel, sender channel, receiver channel, like many, we have created many objects. But if you come to the clustering concept, these all are not required. Transmission queue, channel, queue definitions. If you read this right, the cluster is a group of queue managers set up in such a way that queue managers can communicate directly. Queue manager to queue manager directly communicate అవుతాయండి without having like a transmission queue, channel, and the queue definitions. These all are not required. How it will create, how it will communicate, I will show you practically. Just I am telling you the theoretically now. So you just see the theoretically what is the concept of the clustering actually. So this is one. Let me write here. Maybe you guys will understand thoroughly. So clustering. First is what is the cluster as a logically group of queue managers. This is the what is the cluster definition? It is a logical group of queue managers. Cluster in the sense group of queue managers that logically. So second way, no need of transmission queue, remote queue, sender and receiver channels. So this is the one of the advantage. No need of these all channels. And the main purpose of the clustering is it is to workload balance. Even I will show you the practically also just for your reference. I just telling in the theoretically workload balance in the sense like if you create one queue, right? The same queue will be there in the all three queue. Let's say we are going to create the three queue managers. There what is the like queue to store the message, right? A local queue. Local queue will store the messages. So like if you push 1,000 messages to the one local queue, the same queue will be like defining in the all the three queue managers. So those three like 1,000 queue managers will be divided. Like 300 will go to the one queue manager, and other 300 will go to the another queue manager, and another copy of 300 messages will go to the third queue manager. So this is the main. It is to workload balance. It is the like one of the like main advantage of the cluster. What is the purpose of cluster is to workload balance is the main purpose is that. And one more thing is failover to overcome failover conditions. How the failover, right? Let's say we have a three queue managers in the cluster. Cluster in the like if you say a logical like if you Telugu meaning ఏంటంటే cluster it is a like సమూహం అనమాట క్లస్టర్ అంటే లైక్ గ్రూప్ అనమాట గ్రూప్ ని క్లస్టర్ అంట సో లైక్ in the cluster we will have three four five queue managers. Let's say we have one queue manager is down and let's fourth queue manager is down. So in that case the another queue managers will take over the like remaining activities of the messages and all whatever it is. So it is the one of the like one more advantage of the cluster is to overcome failover conditions, and what is one more advantage is to workload balance. These two are the more like most like advanced most usage of the cluster. Let me say. So what is the advantage of the cluster is to workload balance in the sense. So let's say like we are like putting like ఒకటి రెండు మెసేజ్లే మనం పెడుతున్నాం ఇప్పుడు in real time it is not the case. Some thousands lakhs of messages will come in a daily. So if it is the cluster is there, so those messages will be divided to the, let's say we have 2000 messages, we have four queue managers. So in the cluster, so how those messages will be bifurcated, right? So 500, 500, 500, like it will divided. So if it is divided, so the load balance, like the load will be sharing. So that is the main purpose of the cluster. And one more advantage, failover. Like let's say out of four queue managers, one queue manager is down. So the like business won't impact. The other three queue managers will maintain the whatever the work we are doing. So that is the main advantage. So now I will like show you how to like configure the cluster. So we have a proper document, whatever I share you, right? Here one more thing I need to tell. Here two types of here the repository will be there in the clustering. So two types of repositories. Repository, full repository, partial repository. So full repository cluster లో like it is a like repository అనేది ఉంటుంది like క్యూ మేనేజర్స్ ఆర్ ఫుల్ రిపాజిటరీ క్యూ మేనేజర్ పార్షల్ రిపాజిటరీ క్యూ మేనేజర్ అని ఉంటాయి సో ఫుల్ రిపాజిటరీ క్యూ మేనేజర్ will hold the all the information of the cluster. Partial repository queue manager will hold the subset of information. It won't like it won't hold the complete information of the cluster. It like only hold the particular that information it will store. But the full repository, we have the full repository that will contain the whole the cluster